What's up, everybody? It's been probably about a year since our last episode, and we don't even remember what number we're on. But we're back. We want to get this podcast thing going. We had a lot of change in our lives, so we're going to jump into this episode. So stay tuned. This one's kind of like a catching up episode. A lot of change in Benjamin's life specifically. So we get a lot to talk to with my brother. What up, bro?
What up? You guys ready for a fun little podcast that we got? I mean, this is, like Johnathan was saying, it's been like a year, so I have no idea like where we left off, what we even talked about last or anything like that. So this is going to be like a fresh start for everybody, which is great. Like Johnathan was saying, it's like a fresh start for me in a lot of ways. So I'm stoked for the day, bro.
Well, and it's funny too because we were like, oh, we got to stack about 5 episodes before we go live. And we got to like the 5-ish episode mark, and then life hit us hard, and then we just stopped. But we never we never made it public, so we never fully committed to, the podcast yet. So it was okay for us to put on the back burner, and then a year later happened. But like, once we've officially make this go live, it's gonna be a once a week thing. But because that's the way we are. But when it happened, we were kind of just like, oh well, Ben's getting married, Ben got new jobs. Like it was a lot.
There was just, there really was a lot going on. And then I think it was like, my life was changing quite a bit. And then from there, I think the snowboard season was coming up. And so there was just like chaos and everything. And we just got behind. Actually, now that I think about it, I think one of us or both of us actually got sick. And so we took a small break, and then life came at us. So, but hey, we're here and we're committing to it, right?
Yeah.
This is Day one
of getting to it that I totally forgot about. Ben called me. He was like, "Are you on the live stream?" I was like, not live stream, the podcast." And I was like, "Yes, I'm totally ready. I'm so ready for this."
If you'll learn one thing about Johnathan is that he'll do it. 1 second, I'm going to turn my mic down. Sorry, guys. He'll do it. Like, he'll do whatever he says he's going to do, but he may forget about it. So you just have to remind him. That's like literally it.
No, yeah, totally. Like, I got a little potato brain. I literally woke up today not even thinking about it. You texted me yesterday about it. I just didn't look at my text messages, which is like the way for me to get reminded of responsibilities sometimes. And so,
but we've been working kind of together long enough for me to know that. So like my expectations were met for the day.
Well, it's I got so much going on, and it's so easy to just chase the next thing that's in front of you, like the next thing in front of you. Like my day today isn't only film this podcast. It's like, okay, like what videos am I filming? I got to go pick up all this stuff from Cody. I'm actually doing this really cool thing, bro, where I write 8 critical tasks down in a notebook, and then I have to do all 8 things that go into this notebook throughout the day, like period. There's no not doing them. So you got to be somewhat careful what you write down in this notebook, because if you put something heavy in there, you got to do it. But it's been keeping me super productive. I'm on day 7 of it, so a weekend, and I've gotten a lot done. I've done this method somewhat before in the past, but I'm back on it because there was a moment where not productive for me is probably super productive for some people, if that makes sense. But I just was not happy with my productivity, and it was driving me nuts. So I should have wrote the podcast down in here, like do the podcast. Because I don't even have all my tasks written yet. I just didn't get to it yet. Put in tasks.
From me, it's funny because like I 100% get that whole like productivity thing. I think I told you so. We're going to touch on this probably here soon, but just to give you guys a heads up, I'm actually a social media manager for a company here in Colorado Springs. So with that, I was just telling Johnathan this the other day. I've been working on this edit, and I'm super stoked about this edit. It's going to come out really well, but it's like taking me forever. And I've got this like anxiety or like this thing behind me that's like, why is this taking so long? Blah, blah, blah. So yesterday was my day off, and the entire day I was like cleaning the kitchen, doing laundry, like cooking, like getting a bunch of stuff done, because I just had this like kind of anxiety behind me that's like, you're not doing enough, right? Like I know exactly, like I know I'm doing enough, but like I still am not doing enough. And like that's probably what you're saying is like you like need something to push you, otherwise it drives you like crazy, huh?
No, totally. Like I also sometimes like I wake up at 3 in the morning, and sometimes I'd come in here and I might swipe TikTok for like an hour. Or when I say swipe, I'm like replying to comments. I'm like on social media. Like I also somewhat need to consume some social media to know what's going on in the industry and stuff. But it would just bug me. So my new routine is when I come in here, I just start journaling, because I would come in and I would want to read when I first came in the office, but I was so tired. So like I would read and not remember anything. So I'm gonna sound like a crackhead right now. I have 5 journals I'm going through. Five. And the reason why it's so many is I got a couple cool ones. So the first one I'm going to talk about it's called The Father's Journey. It's a journal that's like questions about your life that you fill out for your kids. So it's really rad. I'm gonna make actually a whole YouTube video about this, but it's like, what was your greatest school accomplishment? And then you like write that in, and it goes from like when you were a kid to your mid, like whatever, young adult, to like getting married, or having talking about their moms, and then like all your advice for them like through life. So that's really cool.
I know what your high school accomplishment was, and that was getting 50 in every ranked playlist in Halo 3,
yes,
right?
Being 50 in every single ranked playlist. Honestly, that might be it. Or the 101 kill game. That was a pretty good one.
The 101 kill game. Uploaded on my YouTube channel, by the way.
Yeah, go check it out.
We should download that and post it on your channel, bro.
Honestly, we should. I have no problem posting that this summer.
Oh, we like podcast crew, like give us feedback on this. How cool would it be if Johnathan and I reacted to that game?
Oh, I haven't watched it in a minute.
We could 100% react to that game, bro.
That'd be a fun video. That's awesome. So then I don't know if you're this way, bro, but when I start something, I have to freaking complete it. It's just a problem with me. So I started this other guided journal. So with journaling, I don't know how much you've done with it, bro, but you can have journals where you just write your own thoughts. But if you struggle with that, you can get a guided journal. So I got the Green Lights Guided Journal by Matthew McConaughey, because he's just a rad person. I actually also read the book. And so he gives you topics to journal about. But I started that, so I have to finish it. I'll give an example of like one of the guided parts. Remember some roads you took and why.
I would just like to say, actually.
Say what?
Go ahead.
No, essentially it's just like that. It's like, remember some roads you took and why, and some that you avoided, like some roads that you avoided and why'd you avoid those roads.
So I've had a guided journal. I actually am looking at it right now. It's called New Mindset Who Dis, and I actually really liked the principle of it. It was kind of like a mental help type book to help people like get through difficult times and like have like a new mindset towards things. So I attempted that, and then actually something that I will admit, like I failed to continue, and that's fine. That's part of life. But when I turn, so I've done this before, podcast crew. For my birthday, I would challenge myself to do something new, and so for like my own personal like growth, something I decided for myself when I turned 23 was I was just like, I'm gonna stop drinking for a whole year. I'm sure Johnathan kind of remembers that, but it was just like a decision I made. It wasn't like I didn't have a problem with alcohol or anything like that. It was just like something I didn't need in my life. So I made the decision to not drink for my entire 23rd birthday, and I succeeded. And I can do that. If I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do this, like I can do that. But when I turned 24, or actually no, when I turned 25 last September, I was like, I'm going to journal every single day. And I did for a long time. I journaled for probably like 4 or 5 months straight. And then I don't know what happened. I just kind of like, it's something that I like started forgetting to do. And I was like, that kind of sucks. And I know that my last journal entry is literally like, I haven't journaled in 2 weeks. I'm so sorry. I need to be better about this, blah, blah, blah. I promise I'll be better about this. And then ever since then, I have not journaled. So I don't know if it's something that I can forget about. I don't necessarily like like I have a harder time sticking through to it. Whereas something like don't drink alcohol, like I can just remember like, oh, don't drink alcohol. And like right now, both Johnathan and I are actually going through the Whole30 diet. And like with that, same thing. I don't have a hard time with it because it's like, don't eat these foods or like don't do that. Like, I don't know. It's a lot easier for me to do that than to like remember to write in a journal. So.
I think you might just need to give yourself a more realistic mind, or not mindset, goal, or like journaling every day, like that's, unless you're tracking your day to day, like almost like a vlog, it's almost like not needed. I think having like a no pressure journal, but leaving it somewhere where you can see it all the time, and then when you have a thought, you're like, okay, I want to jot this down, or I want to do this, because like I have journals, I haven't got to them yet, that like I've written in like 4 times in a whole year, and that's fine. Those moments of thought are still there, and so I get a challenge of like, I'm gonna journal every single day. It is a challenge, and you're going for that, so like that totally makes sense. But like if you ever go back to like journaling or writing down, just like no pressure to it. Like if you wrote something down, sick. If you don't, whatever. I actually have 6 journals now that I think about it. I have a workout journal that it's a guided workout journal. So after your workout, it was like, how did you feel about your workout? And they ask you all these questions, and then there's like a little rant section, and then you rant in it. And I just write in that after every workout, because you think so much during a workout. So like there's not, yeah. I haven't been in the gym. This sounds awful, but I haven't been in the gym in like 4 or 5 months, because my gym's been actually snowboarding and not needing it. But like summertime is my gym time, and then I feel that thing full of thoughts and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be too bummed about the consistency.
Yeah, it was just a goal of mine to write in it every day. And in it though, like in my goal, it wasn't to like, you have to come up with a thought-provoking journal entry. It was more so like, you have to write down something, whether it be like, my day was an average day, or like this, or like it wasn't like, if there was nothing outstanding, like I didn't really have to write anything like that. It was more so just like a like day by day kind of like, not necessarily like vlog, but like kind of just like a look back on the year and kind of see like what was going on and things like that, and to kind of like self-reflect on my own, like what does my year look like. And so yeah, I like the idea of a non-pressure one. But I think that if there's no pressure, I also probably will forget about it even more. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword in that sense.
Would be a really sick app, is an app that you can fill in like so it's like you open the app every day before you go to bed, and you like open it, and it goes like, how was your day? And there's like the 5 smiley faces, and you click it, and then like, what was the best part about your day? And then you could write about it. What was the worst part about your day? You could write about it. And then, it's like filling out a job application. And so it's like 20 questions, and you go through it, and then it just stores that information. And then at the end of the month, it was like, hey, just so you know, this month you had 15 great days, 20 average days, and like, yeah, I mean, that's more days in the month.
All right, let's quickly stop talking about it before somebody on the podcast takes this idea and makes it.
Dude, no, make it, dude. It sounds rad, right? And so it's like the easiest way. I actually know a lot of app makers, so if it doesn't exist, I might hit somebody up.
So what the other thing here, like imagine tying this in, because of how strong it is. Like I like both love and hate this idea, so hear me out with it. It's like you answer these preemptive questions. And then I also think that when you create your like profile or whatever, you like type out what your journal entry would look like. Like, tell me about your day today, and you like type it out, blah, blah, blah. And what it does is an AI goes ahead and studies your typed out like a journal entry. And then you just answer those questions where you like, you put in the emoji or whatever. And then all of a sudden AI makes a journal entry for you that sounds just like you, where it's like, today was a blah, blah, blah day, blah, blah. And like the AI just does all the work for you.
Yeah, I mean, it could type it for you, but I was more like, I mean, the whole point is for you to write your thoughts or whatever. But then it's an app, so it's storing all this information. So if you like want to go back, it's all digital. So like, let's say at the end of the year, like you could like go deep into it and be like, what was my thought on April 20th this year?
Yeah,
and you could go back and like, but you got to pick, like, you also get to pick those questions of like, I mean, the app could have like set ones, but you could have like specific, like you could tailor it to your mood or like how you think. I don't know. I think we're on to something. But really quick, so I can finish my 5 journals, because I want to mention this one to you as well, bro. I decided, because this is kind of like your 25th birthday journaling every day, I decided going on for the rest of my life, I'll have a journal for the year of my life. So I printed out a little 33, because that's my age. And I'll write in this consistently. It's not, I don't have to do it daily, but I want to write in this thing enough so when I am 50, I can be like, what was I thinking, or who was I at age 33? And I could just literally grab my 33rd journal, or I mean, this is the first one, but it has my age 33. You know, so if I'm like 60 and I'm like, what was I thinking in 45? I could just grab the 45-year-old journal and kind of like skim through it. So I thought that was a fun idea. And then the last 2, one is a business journal. I had this leatherback one that from when I started the channel, and I mainly just write my struggles in this one. Like whenever I'm like so frustrated or things aren't going right, I go to this book and I just write in it. So it's actually one of my more filled out journals, because life is going so bad. Not joking. Yeah. But no, this one's going to be cool because it is like my business journey is in this journal. And then the last one is also a business journal, but this is like more of a strategy where I wrote like incredible quotes and tips and my goals and my dreams. And like, it's really cool because when I was about to quit my job and go all in on the YouTube channel, I wrote a bunch of goals down. And 2 years ago, or last year, one of these years, I was like looking at the goals and reading them. And it was crazy that I completed so many goals without actually looking at this goal list, but I was like knocking them off. Like one of the ones I wrote down was to get sponsored by Christie Sports, and that legitimately happened.
That's so cool. Like that's probably one of the best feelings, is to revisit that and be like, I forgot that I like made these goals, and here I am like doing it.
Yeah, I'm just subconsciously, or like it's just going down. Like I'm accomplishing these goals just by like still pursuing it and being consistent. So I am not saying everyone needs to journal or go be a journalist, but I have been doing this because it's been waking me up in the morning. And so instead of coming in here and doom scrolling, I am coming in and knocking all that out.
So I think that something that's underrated is just notes in general. I use my note app on my phone like religiously. There's so much going on in here. The other thing I really like is like, so because I got an iPhone, I can share notes with my wife, Kirsty, and like, so we got a shopping list together, and we got multiple things together. But it's like, I have a video idea list, or basically just like a kind of like you were saying, a business journal, but just in my phone. And so it's like every type of video that I have ever come up with is inside here. And I've got like clothing ideas. I've got like tag combinations. Like I've got all of this in here, and I use it pretty much daily. And like, there's just something so powerful, but also so important about like writing down or keeping track of an idea before you lose it, right? If you like, you may come up with ideas left and right, but if you don't put it to paper or anything like that, like it's never, like the next step's never going to happen, right? Like, so
no, totally. It's funny. I just scrolled my video idea list, and I literally have probably 500 video ideas on my notes app.
I believe it.
And me and Cody have the shared notes app for videos we filmed, because we kept forgetting we made videos. And like we'd have a video sit on an SD card for like a week or 2 weeks, and we're like, so we have like this like, when like filmed, what date, who's editing it, when is it posting, and then we have some that are like not going to get posted till the summertime, that we still have these videos, we don't want to lose them. So like, yeah, we have like a shared like video tracking. But yeah, the notes app is definitely for, like you were saying, like that's a great idea, or that's a great quote, and I'm like not around my stuff or at my desk, so I put it into there for sure. I have that. That's why I've been doing
Yeah.
the 8 daily tasks too, because like I start my day, I'm like, oh, I gotta do this. Oh, gotta do that. I gotta do that. And I would like not write it down. Or I would write it down, but I didn't create this artificial self-made goal where it needs to be completed by the end of the day, if that makes sense. So then it just want to live. And if it's something that I can't get done today, but it's like, oh, that needs to be done, I just write it in for the next day's like has to be completed task.
Yeah, I guess I do something very similar at work. We have a to-do list that becomes a to-done list that we start for the day. So, depending on what time we start the list or like, were we working somewhere else before we came to the office or whatever, like if we already did something for the day, we'll write that down on the to-do list because it's done, and then we'll write things that we need to get done, and then we'll just transfer it to the next day. And like it's really important for us because kind of like you were saying with like a video, like or like you forgot that you filmed a video. It's like when you write it down on the to-do list, and even if we have to push it to the next day, it still is like on our mind, like this is something that we need to do. It's not like we forgot about it just because it was something done yesterday or this or that. So I know what you mean. Yeah.
Talking about your job is a great segue, bro, to the fact that you've changed a couple jobs. And then did you get married between the podcast, or am I missing time frames? Your life has exploded.
I could probably find it very quickly here. I can find it very, very quickly. So just give me 1 second. But yes, so a lot of things have changed in my life, and a lot of things are going to change in my life. But
is this you telling me that you're having a baby?
Video.
Not joking.
No, the last video was filmed August 23rd of 2023.
Editor Ben here. So I was actually mistaken in this point, and I just wanted to add the snippet in real quickly. I read the wrong number. So the last time we filmed a podcast before this episode you guys are listening to was December 11th, 2022. So just to clear that up a little bit, and my wife and I got married on March 23rd, 2023. So that'll make sense in just a second. I just want to explain that to you guys now. All right, and back to the podcast. So that actually means I was already married in the recording of the last podcast, which is fine. Basically, let's just update you guys. I am officially 1 year married. We are going into our 14th month already, and we're loving it. Right now, we moved into a new place. We're in since then we're in an apartment right now, but we just needed to get away from like roommates and everything, so that was good for us. And then come this fall, we'll be looking to rent a house. Renting just makes a lot more sense in this market, so we're just gonna rent a house for the time being. But yeah, since our last podcast, I was working for Avis and Budget, which is a car rental place. And that was a pretty tough job. I won't go too deep into it, but pretty tough job. And then now I got essentially a good dream job. I've been here for about a month. I am a social media manager for a trading card shop in Colorado Springs. They do like trading cards, comic books, collectibles, sports cards, all that type of stuff. And I just get to do their social media work. So it's like a dream come true. I still have the aspirations to have my own social media, but doing this for them is like an incredible opportunity. And I've learned so much for my own like growth in like the social media aspect. Like I'm learning so much about thumbnails and so much about like hashtags, and it's not like I didn't know about it, but like I'm really learning, like I'm diving deep into this stuff, and it's great that I finally have that opportunity, along with like learning the business of sports cards. Like I've done the snowboard channel with Johnathan, I've done my video game channel, like I've done those, but I've never done comic books or Pokemon cards and all that stuff. So it's so cool to be diving into a genre that I know almost nothing about and learning how to make social media for it. It's a nice challenge for myself, but I'm enjoying it so far.
Well, and so many people, they want to do something, and you got to get good at it before it works, especially nowadays in today's world where everyone's doing social media and it's so competitive and all this type of stuff. But like you're essentially going to like the ultimate social media college and getting paid to do it. And that's one of the biggest things people struggle with. I don't have time to study thumbnails or how to make better thumbnails. I don't have time to get these edits done or whatever. But now you have this job where like you're going to become a better editor, and every edit you do, you get paid for. You're going to become a better at Photoshop, and every Photoshop that you make for this company, they're paying you to make it. So like your skills are honing, you're getting better. You still have your whole life to like build your own social media career and find what's going to work specifically for you. But in the meantime, you're only improving while getting paid, which is the hack, you know, like a lot of, I would argue like a big reason why I got good at snowboarding is how do I want to say this? There's people that like they get good at snowboarding or they get good at what they're doing, and what they did was they got a job that allowed them to put in that proper time and attention, and they made money while learning. So I guess like when I want to go all in on social media, I got a job specifically that let me listen to podcasts while I worked the entire time. So while I was making money and working this job, I was learning and I was getting paid to learn, which was rad.
Yeah, and obviously, like I still have to produce, right? I can't just sit there watching YouTube videos on how to edit or how to grow your YouTube. Like that's not my job. My job is to sit there and edit and make content for this channel, and I've done a great job with that. But in it, it's like I'm making so another great opportunity with this job is I actually just got back from Chicago for a Comic-Con called C2E2. It's been going on for 15 years. It's one of the largest Comic-Con conventions to like be out there. And so they like my work sent me out there. My entire job was just to, you know, film and post or like film and post the stories and stuff like that. And I had a blast. So I'm making the vlog for that right now. And in it, like just to give you kind of a hint, is I'm like having words and numbers, like if I like I'm displaying the time, let's just say, right? But I'm having like the time shuffle, like rotate and move to like different times. Like it's hard to explain, but basically like imagine like a wheel spinning with a clock. And so like I'm learning how to edit that. I've never edited that before, but I'm doing it. And like it was a vision I saw with like the concept. I was like, I want to make this in my video. How do I do it? So I just did like a quick YouTube search, learned how to do it, and now I'm incorporating it into my video. So that's my approach to my videos, and everything I do is do something new. Like try a new strategy or try a new technique just to hone my skills even more, and show like how versatile I am when it comes to editing. So that's been my goal with this.
Yeah, and it's cool because like maybe too, this, not to say you don't deserve a social media or whatever, but sometimes you're like you said, you're like, I still want to do my social media stuff, but like I'm working for this other one. But like maybe that's the I'm not say the end game, but a lot of times, like I just wanted to snowboard. I didn't want to do social media, but social media is what brought snowboarding to me in a whole to the level that I wanted it, if that makes sense. And so like this could also like grow and transpire and become more than you ever thought it would be, you know, and like I don't know, life is crazy, and you just got to keep going with the doors that open. And some doors will lead you to rad places, and some will take you to places where you're like, well, that sucked, but here we go, next door.
Yeah, so with this opportunity I have, I am incredibly excited. Like I said, I've been with them for a month, and I love my job. I love my job, but I will say there are some growing pains right now with earning somebody's trust, right? I'm sure Johnathan can relate to this with Cody, where it's not like you just didn't give him a video and it's like, go make this and post it to my YouTube channel, and I don't even want to see it, right? Like you had to see what they were capable of it, but also have it cater to your like needs or your style or what you were expecting for your YouTube channel. So for my business owners, they're great people, but like we're still going through those growing pains of like, I'll edit a video and they'll be like, actually, we wanted it to be like this. And so I've got to go back and re-edit it. And that's fine. But like, you know, we're still going through that process right now. After that, though, 100%, like I want to take them to the next level, right? After we're more comfortable with each other, after I learn their style better and things like that, I really want to take their business and show them what I can do with it on like what's next. Like I don't see this as like a temporary job necessarily or anything like that. I do want my own social media to do its own thing, but I'm still like when I join a company, I'm invested into it, and I'm invested in this company of like I want to take you guys to the next level. I want to be I want to see nothing but success for you guys. And it's like, how can I do that for you? And so getting to know them better and everything is going to only help me do that. So I'm stoked on it. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and on that note with Cody, like we've gotten to the point where if I still review every video, but a lot of times I don't even like adjust a single thing. Or if like we're crunched, I could be like, hey dude, just edit it, send it to me, and like I'm just gonna post it as is, because like I know he's now hit to a point where like he's got my style dialed in. He adds in a little bit of his own flair, and it just works, and I trust him enough. So like you'll get there for sure, where they're like, hey, we need this post by tomorrow, and you can just go film it, edit it, and you don't even have to submit it to them, and they're gonna know and trust that what you made was like what they wanted.
Yeah, and I think some of that I think we both would agree, like, you kind of got not lucky with Cody, but like you got fortunate with Cody. Cody's a good guy, right? And something that I think my company's dealt with is that they did have a social media person, and they kind of like they posted something that they like shouldn't have, I think, or something along those lines. And so ever since then, they're a little bit on edge for it, right? They had a bad experience with it once, so they're still like, you have like, it's now harder to earn their trust. And I respect that. I understand that. So I'm just trying to do the best I can to cater to their needs, right? But
Definitely. And on the note of trust, we got to. I mean, once again, we haven't posted anything publicly yet, but we got to build your guys' trust by being consistent with this podcast. This is something that my brother Ben has been on me about, because just like my main YouTube channel that he talked me into starting, he's like, bro, you have this crazy dead time that's like killing you financially. And we're not doing this for a financial gain, but he's just saying like you need to branch out of just the snowboard industry and into kind of like mainstream or just like general content in period. And so like it's really cool that Ben has been this driving force for growth for me for all these years, because if it wasn't for him, I'd still just be like snowboarding and working a job probably. And now he's not forcing, but like encouraging me to branch into just not just snowboard social media, but like social media that's like a podcast and other genres. He's encouraged me to like dabble in and reach out into. Like we eventually would love to do like a gaming channel, would be really cool down the line if that's ever doors open. I wish there was more time in the day and in life. Like I don't know about you, but I'm always running out of time.
so I'm just envisioning it now, bro. Like I know that you have always wanted to be hands-on with it, but it's like, if I think that you and I, if we continue just doing our thing, working together again, like we're gonna reach new heights that we've never even seen before or really even ever imagined before. And with that is gonna come with more time, right? We're gonna have multiple full-time editors, things like that. It's gonna be like you're still gonna be able to do your snowboard thing, but we're still gonna have like the podcast thing. And if we wanted to do a video game thing, we'll probably have the time for it, because we are gonna have essentially like the capital to get help in other ways, right? So I know that you and I can move mountains, and we just gotta do it, right? And I think that's something that not actually that we've struggled with, because we honestly haven't, especially when we were doing the YouTube channel together. We were always just like, all right, let's go do it, and we would like go and do it, right? But like with the podcast, right? We don't live next to each other anymore. We're 2 hours away from each other. You are an extremely busy person. I'm also a very busy person. Like we just needed to do it, right? I woke up at 4 a.m. today. Here we are podcasting, right? We just have to do it. And that's just the reality. I think that you and I have an incredibly healthy relationship too. When it came down to it, I was just like, bro, we have to do this. Like no questions asked. We have to do this. And you're like, you're right. And here we are. We're doing it.
Yeah, I don't want to sound cynical, but like after having like getting my social media where like, oh, I had 3 employees, and like the economy hasn't been the nicest for social media. Maybe it's me. I'm going to do a lot of self-reflecting this off season. But like as my business has hit a peak and has kind of been, I feel like Bitcoin right now kind of been going down. I'm like, yeah, dude, like I could totally see like, oh, we have a gaming editor and we have like a podcast editor, and like, yeah, all I have to do is sit down for 1 hour a day and just talk, and then like someone else handles it. I see that, but also like I've been there where I've like, oh, I'm gonna hire all these people and you have this role, and then it like was, I don't want to say like taken away, but then all of a sudden like, oh, I hired all these people because I had the money for it, and now I don't have the money for it. It's like, jeez, dude.
So
I don't know. I've been beat up the last two winters.
Do you want to dive into that a little bit more? Or do you want to kind of like leave that?
Yeah, I can dive into it. I think short form content has murdered YouTube in a way, and here's my thoughts on it. Maybe more people are spending more time on YouTube because of shorts. And yes, I have posted shorts on YouTube, and I still post shorts on YouTube, and they get views and they do well. However, you get paid diddly squat for shorts. And so the 15 minutes that someone used to put into my long form video and I'd get more money for, they're putting 15 minutes into everyone's shorts and only giving my short, which are normally 4 to 40 second videos. I might get someone to watch all 40 seconds, but like that's so much less time than the 15 minutes that they used to put into a long form video. This is the real problem, the realest of the problems. My community is disappearing, not because I'm not making community building content. People aren't looking for communities anymore on social media because they're just scrolling their life away.
I 100% see where you're coming from. I think that as society has evolved with this like social media and everything, sorry, as like social media has evolved into this short form content, it's really like people don't understand that it actually affects like your subconscious brain. Our attention spans have never been lower, right? Like like we are constantly searching for that like next instant gratification. If we don't have something new in front of us, like we are like go crazy essentially. Like and it's so bad for humans. Like our patience has never been lower, but it's also like I don't want to be that boomer that's like, oh, everyone's on their phone at the dinner table, but like seriously, everyone has to be like scrolling through social media or something like that. And I'm actually really proud of myself. I struggle with that a lot, but like I have social media on my phone again after not having it on for a long time, and I really don't spend too much time on it, and I'm very thankful for that. But yeah, it's a very dangerous hole to fall into of like doom scrolling through on your phone through TikTok, Instagram, and everything like that. And I do think that it is both negatively affecting humans, but also it's negatively affecting, like you were saying, like your content. People can't sit there and watch a 10-minute video anymore. They just can't. They have to skip through it or go watch a short or whatever. It's crazy what that's done to humans, and people don't realize it yet, I think.
I encourage the listeners to, the next time you just wrap up a doom scroll session, think back and try to remember 4 or 5 of the videos that you just watched. And I guarantee you won't. You might remember the last one you may have watched or whatever, but you watch these things and then you don't remember them. It's like you just erased a chunk of your life. I actually have this really good quote. Say what you're going to say. I'm going to pull up this quote.
Well, I was just going to say, so I was really curious on this last like week. I've had a couple busy events, podcast crew. We had like free comic book day on Saturday, which is like a national event where people give out free comic book days, free comic books to people. So I was filming that. And then the week prior, I was out in Chicago filming, and I do a lot of filming on my phone along with the camera. So I was curious. I was like, what does my time usage or my screen time usage look like on my phone? And I was looking at it, and on Monday, which was a travel day for me, I flew back from Chicago. I was looking and I spent an hour on TikTok, and I thought to myself, I was like, when did I spend an hour on TikTok? I really couldn't. I was like, when did I do that? I did not know I spent a whole hour on TikTok. And even thinking about it right now, I couldn't tell you when I did that. I was like, was I on the plane doing that? Like, that kind of makes sense because I was trying to kill some time on the plane or something. But I was still like, I cannot believe I spent a whole hour on TikTok that day, because that's something I just don't do, like, ever. So the fact that I did it really confused me. But
I hate with TikTok, when you post a TikTok, the app has to be open, and you have to be in like your feed. So like my because I post shorts form every single day, so my numbers are so skewed from just like telling the app to post and then leaving my phone on the counter and then just like waiting for it to upload my video. So like I can't even tell you, but like I'm guilty of it. But here's the quote that I was mentioning. It says, "Once a minute, a day, or a week is lost, it's gone forever." And like when you really the once a minute, like that thought of like it's gone. You know, you spend a minute watching a video you'll never remember for like you were just erasing it. I could have spent that minute holding Bristol, you know, and that embrace will be with me forever. You know, that thought of like, oh, I loved holding her as a kid. Like, I don't know. I hate short form. And so like my community has died because of short form. So what does that mean? Where's that impact? How does that impact my business? Okay, well, I used to go live and I'd make between $200 and $500 every single live stream because people are invested in me. They're invested in my story, my journey, and they wanted to support. Now people don't even know anything about me, you know, and they jump on a live stream and they're like, hey, what snowboard should I buy? But like that journey, I still have some core audience, but it's not what it used to be, if that makes sense. And then that also translates into lower sticker sales or merch sales. I'm not selling as much stickers as I used to sell because people aren't as invested in the channel. They might just see me, and like, I can't plug my merch in a short. I mean, you could, but like, you know, realistically, it doesn't do as well. And it's just like the list goes on of things that get affected by people not jiving into long form and only jumping into short form. However, my like camera sales, like selling product for my sponsors has done pretty well with the short form content, but I don't know. It's different. I gotta learn, adjust, and get better. And sadly, because we were just talking about how rad Cody is, I didn't make enough money to keep him on this summer. And it blows because I not only need the dude in the wintertime for sure, but I want him. I want to keep him on. And the summertime was kind of one of these things where like I kind of pay him for the work he's doing in the summer because we're just doing way less. He's still making edits and consistently and doing all that type of stuff, but it was like I did enjoy the like, hey, I know you're somewhat doing less, but I'm still cool with paying you because you kill it so hard in the winter. And now it's like I legitimately won't be able to pay rent in 4 months if I keep you on this summer. And like I just can't because I don't make money in the summertime. So I have to go like when summer starts, I got to look at my bank account and be like, okay, that's my money. Because like realistically, not much more is coming in. And then I had to have like my rainy day fund, all that type of stuff. So it was like, yeah, dude, like I hate to say this, but in 2 months, like I can't employ you until the start of next winter. Like, and that's awful. That was like the worst conversation to have. And it's hard because my money's going down, but my views, my subscribers, the attention, I'm more known now than ever, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I just want to sum up kind of what Johnathan was saying also, guys. In no way, shape, or form is like Johnathan and I have talked about this exact subject multiple times. So that's why I want to touch on it is Johnathan's not complaining about the situation he's in as a content creator, right? We all know that being a content creator is a very fortunate situation to be in. But like he's saying, he can no longer employ Cody, right? There was a lot of progression that he's made in his channel. And after short form content kind of like took over, it's like he's taking steps back now, and so like that we're just expressing that frustration towards that, right, John? Like,
yeah, no, totally. John, it's one of those things where like, oh, the influencer's complaining about. It's like no, like it's such a weird. I don't know how to mentally handle this, and that's might be why I'm journaling it. How are you killing it but not killing it, if that makes sense? Like, I'm growing on all my platforms. I'm getting all the crazy views. I'm getting all these vanity metrics that I don't care about because I just want to snowboard. And to travel the world with a filmer and an editor and to do all this stuff and to get, and the reason why I need an editor I need a filmer because it's hard to snowboard and hold a camera, at least if you're doing terrain park stuff. I need an editor because I want to spend time with my children and be able to give them proper attention and not spend my entire day staring into my computer. You know, like, there's these things, and like before I've had them and it wasn't like this crazy thing to have that, but all of a sudden YouTube brings out shorts and all of a sudden I'm making half of what I was getting off of YouTube ad revenue, and I don't solely depend on that. But when you make $70,000 less dollars in a winter, it's kind of like, oh, we got to make some life changes real fast.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, was this? I think it was the start or the middle of this last winter season. I sat down and I dove into Johnathan's analytics from the year prior and this one, and I did the same for his competitors. And sorry, I'm getting over a cold, guys, so I keep having to cough and everything, so I apologize. But when I was going through Jonathan's analytics, he was doing, I believe, 25% more traction from the previous year, right? 25% more views on pretty much all platforms and things like that. And even his own competitors were actually breaking even from the year prior. Most of his competitors were not getting more views than they were the year before, and Johnathan was actually stumping that. Johnathan was getting more views than everybody. And this isn't a competition, right? But it's more so like Johnathan saying, like, he was getting all these vanity awards, but the money was going down, and that short form content really affected that in a lot of ways, we think.
Yeah,
and that's frustrating.
You could swap competitors or peers, or
I'm just using the layman terms, but I
don't look at them as competitors and my peers, but they're good people. But yeah, no, like, I don't like to follow the other people in the snowboard industry's social media because I don't want to get jealous. I want them to all do great. I might check in occasionally, but like, that's why I was like, Ben, like, he was like, want me to look up their metrics for you? I was like, sure, because I don't need to dive in and get frustrated. And he was like, bro, you're absolutely killing it. And so money isn't the true sign of success. Like, I don't do this for money. I do it because I absolutely love snowboarding, and I still get to go snowboard every day, do the raddest things. I got to go to Europe this season. So like, so much is great, and if this is a bad year, this has been a freaking great bad year. It's just hard when, once again, all the charts are going up except for the financial one is going down. It's like, my brain cannot understand it in so many ways.
It would be nice if you were at least like breaking that, like, or like
sustaining,
right?
Sustaining.
Yeah, like if
I could just
if the
plateau.
views were going up, yeah.
Financially, but no, it's like, no, my life, I'm having to cut costs. I'm having to make, making, it's not because I'm spending more money on stupid stuff. I'm like, no, I got to stop having these things that were sustaining or giving me like, I hired an editor so I could stop editing so I could focus on more aspects of the channel, like the short form, and it's paid off. But now I got to do all of it. Like, it's like, oh my God, my bandwidth is going to be exploding.
It seems like when you got an editor and Cody, right, and everything, you didn't become any less busy. No. You just had somebody else to help you get more stuff done. Like, you just added more to your to-do list. That's all that happened,
Yeah. And I'm bummed because, like, I've been, I'm the type of person of like, I know I'm losing Cody, so for hopefully just a set period of time, but so I've been like, already, like, every day I got to get an edit done. He's still editing every day, which is rad because now we're getting stacked, like super stacked on videos, but I need to get back into the routine of getting an edit done every day. And I've been like, something I've been doing for when Cody comes back is I've been timing my edits and timing these things. So when Cody does come back, I could be like, hey, like, we just went and rode a basin and we did some 360, like the reframe for this 360 should take you 2 hours and then the edit should take you 4 hours. That way when I'm like, hey, we're not going to ride and get the A basin edit done, I'm not asking this crazy, like, hey, here's a 15-hour edit, get it done for me in a day. It's like, hey, here's a 6-hour edit. You should totally be able to get this to me by tomorrow. And I'm extremely fast at the editing and the reframing, and like, mainly because I'm the person that's in the head creating the vlog while it's been created. So I've obviously given him like a fat cushion on every edit or whatever. But I'm just trying to be better, and it is nice to be able to kind of that, to take steps to get back into the grimy edit or whatever, and to like, oh, I've never timed, like, how long does it take to make one of these videos? Like, where can we trim fat? Like, how can we make these edits better? Like, so there's going to be a lot of positives of going back into stuff, but I don't know, man. It's I'm not complaining. My life is very, very blessed. I can't figure it out.
So this will probably be the last topic, so I'm going to ask. Maybe this will benefit some of the podcasters, but I know it's a question I want to ask. Is like, oh, sorry. let me get a drink of water before I ask the question. All right. So my question is, like, how long does like a 10-minute edit take you? Because I'm sitting here and I talked on it earlier, and I've mentioned it to you twice now. Like, I feel like I'm taking so long on this edit. Now, to be fair, I'm scrubbing through 3 days worth of footage, and one of the days was both a 5-hour travel day and a like 7-hour like work day of like, you know, being at the convention and everything like that. So there's a lot of footage to go through, but I'm sitting here and I'm like 6 minutes deep into this edit, and I'm like also been editing it for like 8 hours, and I'm like, how is this taking me so long? I can't wrap my head around it. I'm like, why is this taking me so long? Yes, I'm challenging myself, I'm trying new things, I'm going through a lot of footage, but I'm like, why is this taking me so long? Like, how long does a 10-minute edit usually take you, bro?
So let's say it's like a generic Keystone 8-run day. That'll take me 2 hours to edit, and that'll come in around 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then
so
the video I posted yesterday was how to get better at snowboarding in the summertime. That was me standing in one spot, talking, and then overlaying clips. That one probably took about 5 to 6 hours of editing. And the reason for that is standing talking head, you're cropping in, cropping out, cropping. Every single cut is getting adjusted in some way because of people's attention. The frame's got to be changing nonstop every 3 seconds. And then you have things overlaying over it. And so one reason why that one took so long is I was like, okay, like go jump on trampolines is a great way to get better in the summer. And I had to go like scrub through my hard drives and find videos of me that I had trampoline footage that I could overlay and things like that. So those take longer. I would say so I did a full European trip vlog. And that was 9 days compressed into one video. That one probably took about 12 to 14 hours of editing.
Okay, so I feel a little bit better then, because I was like, I 100% know what you mean, because of like, if you're having to constantly edit one clip, whether it be reframing the picture itself, right, like zooming in or being back at the main focal point and things like that. Or for me, a big thing was audio, right? I'm in this big convention center. Yeah, we had mics and everything like that, but there was still a lot of noise and a lot of background noise going on. So I'm constantly having to adjust the volume or cut here, transfer footage here, like, you know, do a bunch of audio cuts. That's probably a driving factor on why it's taking me so long. But yeah, I was just like, I'm only 6 minutes into this video and it's taking me a whole day. I was like, I kind of felt bad, but I'm like, I'm doing good work. I know I am. So I was just kind of like, that's more reassuring for me, I guess, to know that it also takes time for you to be editing these videos. So
yeah, and so it's hard too, because that was your first Comic-Con. You didn't know what to expect. You didn't know what to film. Yeah. Like, I have my daily process so dialed that the filming is designed to help the edit, to speed up the edit. We don't have a lot of fat in any of our traditional, like, just ski resort video, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, editing is fun. You get better at it the more you do it. You also will put more time and attention in a video that you're most excited about. And I don't want to say, like, I make videos that I'm like, meh, whatever, not excited about it. But, like, when you post daily, the reality is you have this is just a kind of a filler day type content thing. It sounds awful. Some people still really enjoy that daily process. And then you have videos where, like, I just went to Serette de Montafon in Austria, and it was the best resort I've ever been to, and we got the dreamiest shots, and I'm going to use the best music, and I'm going to make these really rad cuts because it was like the greatest day of my life. You put a little more time and energy and effort into that specific edit because you're really excited about it.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, when you're like, oh my goodness, I got this shot, or oh my goodness, like, we got this, or like, if you can almost piece together the exact vision you want out of like the vlog, like if you see it and you're like, that is so cool, editing it makes you want it to become a reality, right? Like, you're so excited to see your vision become real. So like you do put more energy into it and like that time into it, like you're saying. Whereas when it's more of like a mundane kind of like you're still excited to do it. It's still something you're looking forward to, but it's just the same old thing. It's not as exciting to jump into. I know what you mean.
Well, and like what I like to do specifically with like that Serette de Montafon day, or with any snowboarding day, I try to create the edit to feel the feeling that I was feeling in the moment of doing it. It's like with that day, I was riding through this untouched, massive field of powder that was like low angle, but like the sun was like in this right angle. It was so magical. It just felt calm, magical, so surreal. And so like that edit, I want to give the
second.
I was saying
sorry.
It was,
you there?
Yep, I'm still here. You there? Can you hear me? Yo, bro.
Yo, I think we're gonna have to finish this podcast over the phone real fast.
I got like a notification. I was like, Discord's no longer detecting your mic, is what it said. So, but we could just finish it over the phone.
That might have been what it is. So let's just finish this podcast over the phone then. It's about time for me to wrap up anyways. So
yeah, Bristol just started crying. So, but what I was basically...
Go ahead.
What I was trying to say is that when I edit a segment of my video, I'm trying to give the audience the feeling that I felt like I was having while acting. So like, not acting, but like filming it. So like if I'm riding park in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. It's sick. And like, if I feel gangster, I'm going to put like gangster music and I'm trying to portray this like, oh, we were riding hard and fast and gangster because it was sick. Or if it's surreal and beautiful and magical, it's like, oh, try to make it feel that way. Because that's what I felt when I was riding, and I want you guys to feel that when you're watching.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense on like trying to get the emotion through the video, right? Like by telling that story or adding that emotion to it, it will just make it better for the viewer, right? Like they're feeling what you were feeling, and so it gives you that experience. Like everyone's experiencing that same thing, right?
No, definitely. So, but I think you hit the nail on the head. It's time to wrap this episode up, and we're gonna keep this going. We're really excited. We have some older episodes that a little older. You guys can always check those out. But we're gonna keep this somewhat current. But our goal isn't to talk about like current topics or things like that. We're just here to two brothers that don't get to see each other all the time because we live 2.5 hours away. We have a lot of same common interests, and we're excited to help you guys. Not that we know everything, but I think you'll learn a little bit specifically about social media or video games or snowboarding or now honestly, sports cards.
You just learn a lot about us, right? You just learn a lot about us and like what we do. The way that we are. So yeah, I think there's a lot of fun to come out of this vlog. We're super excited about it, guys.
Podcast, not a vlog.
podcasts. It is time for me to get ready for my day. So,
all right. Well, it was rad talking, bro. And thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
All right. Love you, bro.
Love you, bro. Peace.